calm man is not a weak man. He is a storm that learned discipline. What's up, Ascenders? In a noisy, hyper-connected world that rewards volume over value, one kind of man chooses to stay out of the herd. Not because he lacks the power to lead, but because he doesn't care to be followed. He walks alone, not for drama, not for ego, but because the silence serves him. He's called many things: mysterious, lone wolf, outcast. But the truth is simpler. He's a Sigma. Sigma men are misunderstood by society because they don't operate on external validation. They don't need group approval, and they don't perform for social points. They are kind by nature, but dangerous by necessity. Today, we're diving deep, deeper than cliches, deeper than surface-level TikTok psychology. These are the 11 real reasons why Sigma men are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, but become the most dangerous forces when provoked. If you're new here, subscribe now. Don't just watch transformation, live it. This is Sigma Ascends, and this one's for the Ascenders. 1. The velvet glove principle. Sigma men don't operate with aggression. They don't impose themselves or try to control others. On the surface, they're calm, polite, and often quietly charming. But what most people fail to grasp is that this kindness is a layer, a velvet glove over a steel fist. Their respect for others is genuine, but it's also based on boundaries. Cross them and the glove comes off. But the response won't be dramatic. It'll be deliberate. The Sigma doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't beg for fairness. He acts decisively. The reason this makes them dangerous is simple. You never see it coming. While others scream and rant, the Sigma remains composed. He gathers data, evaluates, and responds with cold logic. That unpredictability, that ability to switch modes without warning, is what makes him lethal. You don't want to see what's beneath the velvet glove, because once the gloves are off, he's not coming to negotiate. 2. The calculated disconnect. When a Sigma man is disrespected or betrayed, he doesn't erupt. He vanishes. The calculated disconnect is one of the most unnerving traits of the Sigma male. He doesn't ghost because he's scared. He disconnects because you've proven you're not worth his energy. And once he's gone, you don't get access again. No emotional meltdown, no explanations, just silence. And that silence hits hard, because it forces the other person to confront their own actions without the comfort of closure. This isn't passive aggression, it's psychological discipline. It's a man who values peace so much, he'd rather cut you off clean than argue endlessly. In doing so, he maintains control, not over you, but over himself. And when a man controls himself that well, there's nothing more powerful or more unsettling. 3. Kindness is a choice, not a weakness. Most people are kind because they're conditioned to be. They want to be liked, accepted, validated. But Sigma men, they're kind because they choose to be, not because they have to be. That makes all the difference. Their kindness isn't performance. It's not social grease. It's a conscious decision to treat others well until you give them a reason not to. And when that reason comes, the switch flips. The kindness evaporates, the cold side shows, and the contrast is brutal. People are shocked when a calm, generous Sigma suddenly goes silent, detached, even surgical. But that's because they misunderstood the source of his kindness. It wasn't weakness, it wasn't need, it was choice. And once that choice is revoked, he doesn't go back. 4. The inner armory. A Sigma man may walk softly, but he doesn't walk unarmed. Not with weapons, but with internal tools, mental clarity, emotional control, physical readiness, and strategic thought. He's not flashy about it. In fact, most people don't even realize he's equipped until they try to break him. While others invest in image, he invests in self-mastery. He studies quietly, trains privately, reflects deeply. His calm isn't just personality, it's preparation. And when someone tries to corner him or disrespect his boundaries, he doesn't lash out impulsively. he deploys. Whether it's handling conflict at work, defending his values, or navigating toxic people, the Sigma man responds with targeted force. He uses his inner armory to disable threats, efficiently and without apology. The danger? You never know what he's capable of until it's already happening. Because unlike loud people who constantly threaten and bark, Sigma men don't advertise their defense systems. They just engage when needed. And they usually don't need to do it twice. This is why people who underestimate them often end up shocked, outmaneuvered, or out of the picture completely. The Sigma didn't lose control, he activated control, and once that switch is flipped, things don't go back to normal. 5. The ghost switch. There's a moment in every Sigma's life where he decides, "You no longer exist to me." It doesn't come with anger. It doesn't come with shouting. It comes with a complete and total detachment. That's the ghost switch. When someone betrays or violates a Sigma man's trust, he doesn't chase, plead, or seek validation. He doesn't post about it. He doesn't subtweet. He just erases the connection entirely, not out of spite, but out of clarity. You've shown your energy isn't compatible with his world, so you're ejected from it. It's clean, it's cold, it's permanent, and it terrifies people. Why? Because they realize they were never in control. The Sigma man's presence was a gift, and they misused it. Here's what stings. The Sigma doesn't block you to make a statement. He just doesn't engage. You could scream into the void, send messages, make noise. He won't even flinch. Because the ghost switch isn't about teaching you a lesson. It's about eliminating noise from his system. And once the switch is pulled, your frequency is gone for good. 6. Emotional lethality. The Sigma man doesn't need to punch, scream, or threaten to break someone down. His emotional intelligence is so refined, he knows exactly where to speak, what to say, and when to say nothing at all. That silence, that perfectly timed pause in a conversation, that's a weapon. And when he does speak, especially when provoked, his words cut with surgical precision. No fluff, no filler, just raw, grounded truth. The kind that exposes insecurities and pierces illusions. Most people argue to win. Sigma men speak to expose. And what makes them dangerous in emotional confrontation is their lack of emotional reactivity. They don't break, they don't stutter, they stay calm, which throws manipulators and aggressors completely off balance. You can't play mind games with a man who already solved the puzzle. They're dangerous not because they want to hurt people, but because if someone tries to hurt them, the Sigma will go straight to the psychological foundation and dismantle it. This is emotional lethality, the quietest power in the room, and the last one most people ever see coming. 7. The controlled burn. When the average man is pushed too far, he explodes, wild, emotional, messy. But the Sigma, he burns. Not out of control, not recklessly. He ignites with purpose. This is what I call the controlled burn. The Sigma man isn't afraid of conflict. He's just selective about when to use his fire. He won't light up over petty insults or cheap shots, but threaten something he values, his time, his principles, his loved ones, and the heat begins. But here's the key difference. His reaction is never reactive. It's strategic. He chooses his battles like a tactician, not a hothead. When he responds, it's not an outburst. It's a clean execution of boundaries. He doesn't yell. He dismantles. He doesn't lash out. He isolates the threat and removes it. The danger? He won't stop halfway. Once a Sigma decides you've crossed the line, he doesn't aim to just defend. He aims to finish. He removes people, habits, or systems from his life like a surgeon cuts out a tumor. And once it's gone, he doesn't go back to check on it. So when he burns, it's not for show, it's for transformation. He clears the space, purifies the environment, and then moves forward, stronger, colder, wiser. People who witness this burn are often stunned. How could someone so calm go so far? Simple. The Sigma stores energy, and when provoked, he doesn't release it randomly, he channels it with precision. 8. The Spartan Code. Sigma men live by a code. Not a social script, not a checklist of what's trendy or acceptable. A personal, unshakable code rooted in loyalty, integrity, privacy, and independence. He doesn't post about it, he doesn't preach it, he just lives it, day in, day out, and he expects others to respect it, not follow it, just not violate it. You see, a Sigma's values are sacred, not because they're flashy, but because they're forged in solitude. They weren't handed down, they were chosen. And once you violate that code by lying, manipulating, disrespecting, or controlling, you're not just offending him, you're disqualifying yourself from his inner world. What happens next is never dramatic. The Sigma won't rant. He won't try to explain why you were wrong. He'll simply eject you from his circle with the same effort he uses to blink. This code is why Sigma men appear ruthless to some people. But it's not ruthlessness, it's clarity. He's not cold-hearted, he's focused. And when you mess with that focus, you get removed, not with hate, but with discipline. The Spartan Code isn't written anywhere. You won't find it in memes. But cross a Sigma and you'll feel it. An invisible wall you'll never be allowed past again. 9. The smile before the storm. Most people smile to be polite. Some smile to fake it. But a Sigma's smile, when he's being disrespected or tested, is different. It's not about kindness. It's a signal, a pre-storm indicator. That half smile, that slight nod, what looks like passivity, is actually recognition. He sees the disrespect, he sees the game, and he's choosing to respond not now, but later, and on his terms. That smile is dangerous, because it means you've triggered something and he's already logged it. But instead of reacting emotionally, he lets you dig your own grave. He observes, he studies, and then, if necessary, he moves. People often confuse this with weakness. They think, he's not fighting back, so he must be scared. He's watching you sink your own ship, and when he acts, you won't see it coming. He's already 10 steps ahead, and by the time you realize it, the door has closed behind you. The Sigma doesn't bluff, he doesn't bark. His smile means one of two things. I've already moved past you, or you're about to feel exactly what you've earned. Either way, that smile is the last warning you'll ever get. 10. They don't fight to win, they fight to end. The Sigma man doesn't engage in conflict for validation. He doesn't argue to be right, and he doesn't fight for ego. When he steps into a confrontation, it's not about winning points. It's about removing the problem once and for all. That's what makes him unpredictable and extremely dangerous when provoked. While others get caught up in emotional drama or drawn-out battles, the Sigma evaluates the entire situation in silence. He studies the people involved, calculates the outcomes, and acts only when he knows exactly what he's going to do. No wasted motion, no emotional flare-ups, just one clean move that ends it. This mindset is unsettling to people who are used to reactive opponents. They expect escalation. They expect shouting matches, social warfare, passive-aggressive games. But the Sigma? He plays none of it. He simply sees the threat and disables it, sometimes with words, sometimes with silence, sometimes with total disengagement, but always with finality. This is what people don't understand. He doesn't fight for attention, he fights for peace. And when that peace is disrupted, he doesn't throw a tantrum, he just cuts the cord. He fights to end, not to dominate. That's why it's so shocking, because by the time others realize the fight has started, it's already over. He's moved on, reset his system, and left them wondering what just happened. 11. Forgiveness is rare. Forgetting is impossible. Sigma men don't hold grudges, but they do hold records. They may not yell, block you, or call you out, but they never forget how someone made them feel. especially when it involves betrayal, manipulation, or disrespect. Their forgiveness isn't automatic. It's earned, and once broken, trust is rarely, if ever, reconstructed. What makes this dangerous isn't just the memory, it's how quietly it's stored. A Sigma won't act like anything's wrong. He may even continue to be civil, but underneath he's already rerouting. He's adjusting the level of access you have to his time, his energy, his trust. And here's the kicker. Even if he does forgive, it doesn't mean he forgets. That means things never return to how they were. You're in a different file now, one where the walls are higher, the answers are shorter, and the connection is shallow by design. People are often stunned by how cold a once kind Sigma can become, but they miss the point. That warmth was real, but it was given, not owed. And once withdrawn, it doesn't come back for free. This is why provoking a Sigma is never worth it. Because while others scream for closure, the Sigma man just takes notes and rewrites the boundaries. So, Ascenders, there you have it. Sigma men aren't here to impress you. They're not chasing applause. They move different. They give quietly. They love fully. But if you try to weaponize their silence or exploit their nature, you don't just lose their kindness, you lose access to their world entirely. Remember this, a man who has mastered himself has nothing left to prove, only things to protect. And once a Sigma decides that something or someone is no longer aligned with his code, the door closes with zero noise, no warnings, no second round. If this opened your eyes or shook your view a little, then good. That means you're not here just to watch, you're here to ascend. Hit that subscribe button and join the Sigma Ascends movement. Don't just follow the noise, follow the signal. Until next time, walk silent, move sharp, and always ascend wisely.